Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today, Joe's Gaming Legacy. Today I'm going to be playing Space Engineers. I've briefly played it just to kind of halfway figure out some of the controls, if you want to call it that. But yeah, let's jump in. We're gonna start a new game. This is kind of, what is this? What is kind of the game? It's kind of an open world survival-ish, not really necessarily a true survival. Well, I wouldn't say true survival. It's not like Ark or some of the other ones where you have to worry about, you know, your food, your stamina, your water, things like that. I mean, it's a open world survival building type game. But so I know there's a lot different. A lot different. Yeah, English, Joe, English. But there's different scenarios you can pick from. There's story scenarios, there's PvP scenarios, there's original content, and then there's even community-driven content from what other players have created. I'm gonna go with Sandbox, and I don't really know much. I'm gonna apologize in advance. I don't know about the other parts of the Sandbox other than Star System. And it says it's one of the most popular worlds in Space Engineers, featuring several planets for you to build, explore, survive on, customize the settings, and play to your heart's content. That's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go in survival. I don't want to go creative because it's just building with, well, just building. And you don't have to go through any progressions or any resource gatherings and things to make stuff. So I want to go survival. I'm going to stay offline. Autosave, I'm going to leave on. I don't know if there's an advantage or disadvantage to not having autosave on, so I'm going to leave it there. Now here, for character inventory size and blocks inventory size, you can go realistic, which would be great if you want to play it in a realistic mode. You can play however you want. However, in realistic mode, your player can only carry 400 liters of resources, materials, components, etc. Cargo under realistic, a small grid, which I'll explain later. Cargo container only holds 125 liters. A medium cargo container is 3,375 liters. And a large cargo container is 15,625. So, yeah, it is more realistic as far as what you can carry, what you can put in them. But I don't think you want to watch me carry a very limited amount of things. So for a playthrough, I'm gonna actually go to 5 times. Well, let me explain. The realistic obviously is the 400 liters per player, so 3 times that would obviously be 1,200 liters. 5 times would be the 2,000 liters. 10 times would be 4,000 liters. So I'm going to go 5 times for player inventory, and I'm going to also go 5 times... 5 times? I don't know about 5 times. Let's go 3 times. Maybe 3 times as well for player. The game defaulted when I popped in here to character inventory size to 3 times, blocks to realistic. Should I leave that as it is or go with 3 times? For the sake of the playthrough, and so you don't have to watch me do monotonous tasks over and over and over again because I don't have the resource base, I'll go 3 times and 3 times. And then the other settings here, I'm gonna leave pretty much all default. Asteroid densities, encounters, sound, limit world size, enable sun rotation, which kind of weird to say, but the sun rotates around the planetary entities, which kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. Day duration, I'm gonna leave it alone. Auto healing, I don't think I'm gonna change anything in here. Thruster damage, weapons, cargoes. Bear with me, I'm fairly, well, I'm a noob, absolute noob, an old noob. Is there something I wanted to change? I thought there was. I thought there was something in here I needed to change. Well, any of these settings can be changed at any given time from when you go to load back into the game. Not doing permanent death because, yep, no, not me. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. So the only things I changed was the characters. Actually, I left that alone from default. Inventory size from realistic to 3 times. And I'm not going to add any mods, even though there's a couple that I would love. They're not... They don't necessarily enhance your gameplay, but they're more of a visual and audio type mod. But I'm not going to add any of those. I'm just going to leave it vanilla as you would be just starting up the game. So let's go. And this should bring us up to another screen where you can pick your different starting locations, biome type things. You got a Mars drop pod, an Earth-like drop pod, which Earth-like is just like a survival pod that'll drop you on an Earth-like planet. And if it's Mars, you can see here you got oxygen of 0, gravity of 0.9 G. Earth is 90% oxygen, planetary gravity of 1. Moon, Titan, Alien, Triton, Europa, Pertam, a space pod. You can spawn out in space in just a space pod, or just a spacesuit. I'm going to do the Earth-like one because, well, it's the easy difficulty. You start off with planetary oxygen. You start off with a gravity, which can be interesting if you try to leave the planet. You have to figure out how to do that. So yeah, with Earth-like pod, we're gonna go and hit respawn. All right, so it pops you into the world inside a drop pod, which you can look around, obviously, like I'm doing. Or if you press the V key, you can look outside your pod. And for a brief second, I saw water over there. And if you don't like your area, supposedly you can hit F5. Let's try it. See if it works. Just curiosity. Let's try it. It's supposed to take you back to the section where you do like the Mars drop pods and Earth-like drop pods. However, it's never worked for me. It's always brought me back to this screen. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong in this aspect, but I think out of the 10 or 12 different times I've tried it, I've had it work once. So I don't know. Maybe I've done something wrong. I don't know. But you'll drop down, a parachute will come above so far above ground, and then sort of land you semi-gently. I mean, yeah. The landing gear, right now it looks like the one that is green is the one that actually made contact and auto-locked to the planet. The other ones aren't making contact, so they're not locking to the planet. Okay. So here, if I go back pressing V again, I'm looking back inside my I just noticed that you can see through the bottom. Okay. But yeah, you can see through here. Can't really do much because, well, what are you supposed to do? Yeah. This game is unfortunately has a huge learning curve up front. Huge. And I spent I don't know how long trying to figure out what am I supposed to do, and watched a few videos and they explained a few things which kind of helped. Actually helped out a lot. But V is first person, third person. If you're sitting in a seat and you want to get out of that seat, press F. Now I am really standing on top of my ship, or drop pod. That was interesting. Why did it put? Well, whatever. But I have not figured out how to circle around to show my face. Like I said, I am a noob, absolute noob. But here we go. Now what do I do? I mean, I've landed. What is it? I mean, what does what? I'm like, help? Which F1 will bring up like your basic controls, your advanced controls, controller scheme, advanced controller tutorials. Yeah, you can go through basic controls, possibilities. But your movement is basically WASD. Spacebar is jump. Is it jump? Yeah, spacebar is jump. Crouch is C. You've got left and right. Rotate left, rotate right, rotate up. Oh! You learn something new every day. Cool. Caps locks, toggles walk. I did not know that. And then shift, obviously hold to sprint. Not obviously, but holding to sprint. Left mouse button, use tool, fire weapon. Right mouse button is a secondary mode. Alright, enough of that. But on our toolbar, you'll notice we have, for number one, let me go back to first person, a welder. I don't know if it looks like a welder, but that's what it is. That allows you to build things and repair items. Number two is your grinder, which is used to deconstruct items that you have created, like something that shows up. See the red box around the landing gear on the right hand side? It says landing gear. So if I were to grind that up, I would get all of those components. I would get steel plates, I would get a motor, construction components, and another steel plate. And then there's a line, and this one it looks like it's about 2/3 where it's a functional line. If you go below that and say you come across an enemy settlement and you want to take it over, what you'll do is you'll go grind it down to that functional line and then repair it. It allows it to change it over to you instead of being someone else. That will make more sense later on, but for right now, yeah, that's just what that functional line is. But yeah, the grinder allows you to deconstruct items and gain the components needed to make that item. Nothing is lost with the exception of grinding a battery. And it's only batteries. You see how power cell is in red writing? Those components will be destroyed if I grind down the battery. There are other items in the game that have power cells, and if you grind those down, you'll actually get the power cells back. In batteries, you do not get the power cells back. They're lost. So you'd have, if you wanted to make another battery, you would have to construct the power cells. The last item of worth note in the toolbar is your hand drill. This is how you hand mine materials, whether it be stone, any irons, and any ores, ice, stone, cobalt, magnesium, silver, gold, silicon, Drawing a blank. Nickel. Those items. It works. Is it the most efficient and effective? No, but it does work. So to mine something and actually gain the resources, it would be left click. And it's super loud, so I apologize. Yeah, so left click will mine. Right click it'll allow you to dig. It's kind of like it's a better digging tool, however you don't gain any resources from it. And it's extremely loud, and the one mod that I would love to put in is Quiet. Is it Quiet Tools? I don't remember the exact name, but it reduces the sound of the tools drastically so it doesn't deafen you. And I apologize about that. And so the rest of the items on the toolbar are just building blocks. The first one is a light armor block, a basic assembler, a basic refinery. The basic assembler allows you to make basic components by utilizing the various ores, whether it be iron ore, nickel, cobalt, silicon, magnesium, and it has limited what it can make. The basic refinery will refine limited types of ores. Wind turbine to generate power. A solar panel for creating solar power. Obviously, solar power. Yeah. Duh. Oh wow, Joe. And then a landing gear. And also on the landing gear, if you notice right by the words landing gear on the right hand side, you have a small looking box, yeah, two different boxes. One's a small grid, one's a large grid. This would be a small grid landing gear. If you press R, you can switch between the two. If you press the same number again, you can go to the large or small, same way. Like this is number 9, so I press 9, that's a small grid. And there's the large grid landing gear. Large grid landing gear are for making much bigger ships and vehicles, and it takes a great deal more material. Like here, you've got 50 steel plates, 6 motors, 20 construction components, and 100 steel plates. The small grid is a lot less material, but it's also a smaller vehicle, whether it be a rover, hovercraft, spaceship, what have you. It's a small grid, meaning it's much smaller, a lot easier to build. Okay, what you can do, let's take a look at your ship. What do we got here? We've got atmospheric thrusters, which are great for getting around on a planetary surface that has an atmosphere. If you're on the moon, these don't work. Well, they work, but they won't do anything. I wish it would have landed a little differently. Okay, here we have an H2O2 generator. If you press F to get to its inventory, inside it you have an oxygen bottle, a hydrogen bottle, and ice. The H2O2 generator converts ice into hydrogen and oxygen, and you can use those to power your suit. If you're out in space, you obviously want to have oxygen and you want to have hydrogen. Hydrogen will power your jetpack. Oxygen supplies you with life, or breathing oxygen. On Earth, or Earth-like planet, or anything that has an atmosphere, it's not 100% necessary, but you can have it. I mean, yeah, obviously if you have high oxygen, you don't need it. I will take the hydrogen bottle. Okay. Thinking. Yeah. Okay. getting it. I'm probably going completely wrong in explaining how to do any of this or what any of this is. Let's see, on the back of the ship we have a survival kit. This is kind of like an all-in-one type of thing. You can create, or it's kind of like a super simple assembly and a super simple refinery. And it also, if you were to die, this allows you to respawn next to your ship. So inside here we have 2 inventories for it. We got 3,000 liters each for, it's up here is ores. However, the survival kit can only utilize stone. It converts stone into iron, nickel, and silicon, as well as gravel. And the components will show up down here. And what I mean by, if you go over to the production tab of the survival kit, it can only make computers, construction components, display, girder, interior plates, motors, solar cells, and steel plates. Well, it works great starting off, but it becomes less efficient the further you get into the game. And what you'll do is you'll actually take and put stone in its inventory, and you'll create or tell it to make ingots. If you single click, it's one item, bring one item. Right click on remove it, so then if you hold control and click on it, it adds 10 ores to the building queue. If you hold shift and click, it's 100 items, 100 ores. If you hold control and shift, it's 1,000. And you can just keep clicking. So 10,000 ores. Well, 10,000 ores is going to be 1,000,000 stone, 1,000,000 liters of stone. Yeah. But you can also make a flare gun, flare gun clip. You can make data pads. Really? I didn't know you could do that. You can make the basic tools, which we have. We have the what? The welder, the hand drill, and the grinder. Where are these two different? Oh, okay, you can make a pistol. And you make ammo for the pistol. You can also have a control panel, which will show everything that's attached. Like in this case, I accessed the survival kit inventory. Anything that the survival kit is attached to will show up in the control panel. So on this drop pod or survival pod, you have an antenna, a battery, a beacon. There's items hidden. There's got to be items. There they are. Okay. All right. Excuse me. This little icon here will show the hidden blocks. It makes it a lot cleaner. So if you want to hide them, you can obviously hide them. But we've got an antenna, 4 atmospheric thrusters, a battery, a beacon, 2 corner lights, a hydrogen thruster, which for this drop pod is absolutely useless right now, but I think they threw that in there so you could get extra materials that you can't currently make at this moment. You've got 2 interior lights, 4 landing gear. I don't know why one of them's not. Oh, because I ground it. Did I grind it down? I don't know. O2 H2 generator, ore detector, which is useful for finding ores. It has a 50-meter range. Not great, but it's better than nothing. A parachute hatch, which is what we use to float semi-safely to the planet. Passenger seat that we were riding in, small cargo container, the survival kit, and a timer block. So, let's hide the things again. You can turn them, you can turn the blocks on and off. I could turn the survival kit off, and if I were to turn it off and die, I think I would have to respawn somewhere else and maybe lose this position. I don't know. I haven't tried that. I might try that sometime. You can show the inventory on this screen, so if I were to turn the smart cargo container off. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, never mind. Show block and inventory screen. Yeah, okay. Don't listen to me. I obviously do not know what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, they're off. So why didn't that show? Oh, show block and terminal, that's why. There we go. Now it's gone. If I happen to click on the right block, which you're probably sitting there going, really, dude? You really don't know what you're doing. You're right. You're absolutely right. I own that. I'm very new to this game. I've played it basically enough to be super dangerous, because I don't know what I'm doing. Your info will show the number of blocks in this ship. 200. I don't know what most of this means. I literally don't. I mean, yeah, I know what. Obviously, I've got 14 conveyors. 14 conveyors, really? 5 thrusters, 4 lights. You can change the name. Is it Respawn Planet Pod? I'll leave that alone for right now. Factions. There are many different factions throughout the games. You've got space pirates, space spiders, and then any other space stations, planetary space stations. Items will just, I don't know if they'll randomly pop in, not sure, but there'll be more in here. But the ones that are red are not friendly to you. You want to be in the neutral or friendly. If you're on the friendly station, then you get bonuses to selling prices and things. Neutral, they may or may not attack you on sight. Generally, they don't, I think, unless you do something to cause them to be upset with you. If you're hostile, they'll attack on sight. You know, yeah, it says that. Unable to interact and attack on sight. For neutral, you're able to interact with them. I question that because I've been, yeah. We'll probably see it coming up. And so we have unyielded shipping as already discovered. Really? They are neutral, reputation of 0. Space spiders is negative 1,000. Space pirates negative 1,000, and then another unknown. Comms? Not sure what that is. GPS. This is showing. Will show you can show them on the HUD. On I don't think there's a map, but yeah, show on HUD or make it always visible. So this is the respawn pod. There's an unidentified signal. This is the Factorum. I've not personally seen them. I've only seen them in videos, and right now, at this point in the game, I will avoid them like they are the plague. Nope, nah. But this is a great way to gain end game gear or components. So maybe down the road. Giddy up. Right now, nope. And unknown signal. That is I'm going to say a satellite. Where are you? Over there. Like a satellite that came down just like the drop pod. And they have, let's go over there. To use the jetpack, press X. On the left hand side you see that little jetpack looking symbol light up and go off. So jetpack's on. Let's go over and see what they got. You want to be careful, because you can get to a maximum without mods 110 meters per second. You hit a tree at that speed, you're going to die, or at least I have. I found out I am rather squishy, so yeah, bad things. And then you just have to respawn, and yeah. Now the drop pods, from what I've seen, come in different shapes and sizes, and there's a couple of them that'll actually, well, okay, scratch that. Yep, that didn't work, but they come oh, wow, come in different shapes and sizes, and some will actually sense you coming, not sense you coming, but there's a sensor that detects you at a certain range, and they'll try and avoid you. Can be challenging, but they have possibly some good stuff in their cargo containers, and you can grind them up and get bonus, like steel plates and whatever other components that they might have. Okay, enough of my blather. Really? There's silicone right there? Well, the reason it's showing up on screen is because can I get up there? Let's show off this. Really? You're not gonna let me in? Okay, alright, I want to see inside the what a little area. So I'm gonna grind down the outside edges here. It looks great, but it's added weight, and we don't need it for right now. Oh my, this is so noisy. Okay, so if I press I to go to my inventory, for that grinding I received 20 steel plates. Each one of these light armor blocks come, I mean, it's essentially this light armor block, if I use a scroll wheel, I can scroll through different shapes. So that's what that is, a light armor block. It's a 2x1x1 base slope. So you can make different shapes and sizes. There's shapes and sizes, definitely different shapes. Oh, okay, before I get ahead of myself. Okay, inside here we have a passenger seat, which has an inventory. If you press I, if you press F, you'll just sit in the seat. There I am. Hello. Okay. Really? You didn't put me on top that time? Whatever, fine. But press I to gain this inventory. You have a pistol, some ammo, and a GPS MEDC station. If you click and drag it over, you can move it over that way. You can double click. Let's see, can I do the same thing? No, okay. Alright, so if I right click this, the station has lost its clients due to some conflict of interest between factions and is now looking for new hires. Interested? This is where you should go. And it has GPS coordinates, which, I'm sorry, they look Greek to me. I mean, I know their coordinates, but I don't get it. But create GPS marker. So yes. Okay. Let's see where that is. It's grayed out, so it's not shown on HUD, and it's not always visible. You can double click it, show on HUD. Let's make it always visible. Okay, see if we can figure out where that's at. MEDC station, 38 kilometers. Not going there on foot. Not gonna happen. What is that white one? Whoa. MEDC processing plant. Huh? 6 kilometers. Oh, that, Why doesn't that show up on my GPS? I don't know. No. Okay, anyway. Let's go back to what we were doing. I'm easily sidetracked, I apologize. Alright, inside here, we have a small cargo container, which I don't think, yep, there's nothing in there. Huh? Oh, I can't access it because I'm looking for an access port. But you have a small cargo container, small curved conveyor tube, and another one. And then this is the other side of the O2 H2 generator. It is connected to our survival kit via these two small curved tubes. You also have a timer block, which I think this is what was used to deploy the parachute, I think. Don't quote me, I'm not sure. The beacon, which is used to broadcast your position. There's your battery. Right above it is a parachute hatch, is where the parachute came from, and then your seat. And then below you is your landing gear. Okay. Again, you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do? The game's not great at telling you what you need to do. It sort of leaves it up to you. But typically what a person would do is start to create a base. Because you want to build something. I mean, this isn't as far as the game is going to go. I mean, I don't want to be standing here with the tools and a respawn pod for the entire game. That'd be kind of boring. And then just wander around on foot or jetpack. Yeah, no. So you can create your own base. I mean, you build it up with blocks, create your basic assembler, your basic refinery, mine materials. But I don't think I like this area. Oh, anyway, one last. Okay, sidetrack, super squirrel. One other aspect of the survival kit is over here on the side. You have a place that lights up or highlights, and if you were to press F right here, you can see on the left hand side of my screen you've got the little plus symbol, looks like health, O2 for your oxygen, a little lightning bolt for your energy, and then below that is your hydrogen. If I were to press and hold F, it'll refill my energy, it'll heal me, regenerate my oxygen, and refill my hydrogen. So pressing F, you see those going up to full. As you're doing things, you're expending energy, and if you were in space, you'd be using oxygen and possibly your jetpack. So the longer you hold the jet or in the air in the jetpack, you're going to be using hydrogen. Like right now, I'm down to 95% hydrogen, and if I did not have the hydrogen bottle on me, once that reaches 0, it'll give you a little message saying, warning, I think it's hydrogen low. Once that reaches 0, you'll come down. If you're too far up, you'll hit the ground at suicidal speeds and die. Yep, had that happen. But on a planetary system with an atmosphere, if you just run out of energy, it's not that big a deal. It just, you won't be able to do certain things. If you run out of energy in space, you will start to gain or start to take damage. your suit powers you and it helps keep you at a tolerable comfort level. In the bottom middle right part of my screen, you've got in green letters O2 high, and then like a thermometer, and it says warm. If O2 said none, and the thermometer was either freezing or hot, and I had no energy, I could start taking damage, and then once your health gets to 0, you die. But being that I've got my energy up high enough, your suit does keep you at a survivable level. And I'd actually, since I'm on a planet, I don't need to have my face down. So if you look on the very, very left, you get that helmet-looking icon with, it looks like a face mask down. If you press J, face mask is up. That, I will reduce the amount of energy my suit uses. Q is my, what? Not Q, O. I think that's my transmitter, I think. I don't know what that, I don't remember exactly what that is, but I believe it's my transmitter. L is your flashlight. Comes in handy. And X is your jetpack. One other thing you want to be cautious of is your battery. Right now, there's 4 lights up here. If they're all green, that your battery is 100%. Well, there's nothing generating power to this, so I'm going to be using battery. So if I go into, press K, I think, and go to my control panel. Nope, that didn't work. How do I access that again? Nope. Okay. I know I can do it through the control panel, so let's go and access this inventory. Just go to the control panel, we'll go to the battery. It says fully depleted in 2 days. So I have roughly 2 days of power until I have to do something. Whether it be create the solar panels, create a wind turbine. I only have 2 days. That's 2 real world days. Not 2 in-game days, because that would only be 4 hours. Since each day is only 2 hours, I believe. So we need to start thinking about finding a place and creating power. Or building a base. UDSH regional headquarters. Wow. No. No. These are, I believe these are random encounters, whether it be functional bases, wrecks, things to salvage. They could be fully operational, and they could be just, yeah, shoot on sight, venture at your own risk, check them out. I will be checking them out eventually, but first things first, we need to decide what we're gonna do. We can just take out our drill and let's turn my headlights on, or headlights, suit lights, and go and get materials, and I'll show you that. So since I'm standing up and I try to go and use the hand tool, I'm not touching anything. So what I want to do is crouch and look, let's see, there, and look down, and if I press left click, you see I did a 1 piece of stone. Well, it's fine, well and dandy to do that right at this level, but in this case I'm actually going to use right click and look down at a slight angle, and I'm going to bypass the grass level and maybe the dirt level to get down to stone. And I'll show you why. right, now we're in. Oh, yeah, I didn't. Looks like nope. Looks like I can sort of, maybe, kinda, not really. Yeah, no, I didn't dig down at enough of an angle, so I'm gonna have to use my jetpack to get out. Or, yeah. But if I were to dig left click in the dirt here, you'll see the rocks or stones coming out, and they'll deposit themselves down here. Not a great deal. I mean, 32, 52, what is that? The 52 liters? 32 liters? Let's find out. 32 kilograms, 12.06 liters. The mass is the kilograms, but your actual inventory volume is in liters. So once you fill up your inventory, then you can't carry anymore. So 32 kilograms or 12 liters of stone from mining in the gravel area. Let's go to do this. Let's pick these up. Now let's grab some stone from this texture. Pressing left click, we have a greater concentration of stone. Well, yeah, that didn't work. 59, 179, 26, 106, and 268. You press F to pick them up. Now you can do this. You can do while you're drilling. Hold F, and you'll pick up as you're drilling. You still may have some stuff behind, but let's do that. Hold F and drill. Okay, so I picked up the majority of it, but if I were to right click here, like left clicking, you see the stones, which I didn't mine any, but right clicking, I'm not doing anything but clearing out the area. I'm not dropping any materials. It's a great way to get down to the layer you want to get down to. So if there was iron below me and I didn't want any of the stone, I didn't want any of the material until I got down to the iron, I could right click until I got down there. One additional trick is if you double click either one, like say I double click the left mouse button, it'll turn the drill on. And I'm not holding down the left mouse button at all, but I'm drilling. So one way of doing it, pressing out, and then you press single click, pressing out left click shuts it off. You can do the same thing with right click, double click. And single click to turn it off again. It's just another method instead of having to literally hold down the left click or mouse or right click or right click. Hold down the left mouse button or the right mouse button. You double click on them, it'll stay on. Doesn't work for everything, but it works with the hand drill. Okay, I have picked up as much as it'll let me pick up. Full. So I have 2,612 kilograms of stone, but my inventory is full with 1,200 liters. So I've got the tools, my oxygen, hydrogen bottle, steel plates. I can't pick up anymore. And since you see you're no longer crouching, and since I obviously don't know how to go down, I'm gonna have to use my jetpack to go out. If you're out of hydrogen and you're down at the bottom of a hole, you may have to dig at an angle upward to get out. Yeah. So now that I've gotten stone, what do I do with it? I go into the survival kit and I can click and drag. Nope. Okay, as I was saying, components on the bottom and ores on top. I can't put the stone on the bottom, but I can put the plates down there. Same thought as I can't put the plates on top, but I can put them on bottom. You can put the stones on top, And being that I changed the starting to, I think it was 3 times or 5 times. Whichever one I chose, I believe it's 3 or 5. I have more room in here. Okay, great. You put stone in there. Now what, Joe? Now you have to tell the survival kit what to do with the stone. If you have the basic assembler, not assembler, basic refinery or the refinery, it automatically starts processing what it is allowed to process immediately. The survival kit doesn't know. So here we're going to tell it, okay, I want to make ingots. So let's make 2,000 ingots. Or I said 2,000 ingots. It may not, obviously I don't have enough stone to make 2,000 ingots. But instead of having to go over here constantly and make it over and over and over and over again, I'll just give it 2,000. So it'll process through all of this stone until it's gone, and then it just stops. Which, depending on what you want to make, you may have to go and dig or mine more stone, resulting in repeated trips up and down or wherever you're going to get the materials. So now, okay, now what can I do with this? Well, anything I want to build requires materials. And well, what can I build besides what's on my hotbar? If I press G, it brings up my toolbar configuration. For home, these are all the blocks that I have currently unlocked. There's a light armor block, a heavy armor block, different shapes, a beam block. These symbols down here on the bottom, I believe, are different DLCs, which are paid. I have all of them, so I apologize. I don't apologize that I have all of them, but I would try not to use any of them, as I would try to play this as vanilla as possible, even though I do have the mods downloaded. But there's not a lot here. I mean, yeah, I can make landing gear. Ooh, I can make an O2H2 generator, survival kit, basic refinery, and a basic assembler. Does that mean that's all I can build? No. A lot of things are locked behind progression. Some players don't want to use progression because they just want to be able to build what they want to build right off the bat. I can understand that. Me, however, I like to have little goals. Okay, I can't make this until I have made something, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I wanted to make a light, well, it's grayed out, meaning I can't make it until I make a basic assembler. Once I make a basic assembler, now I will unlock interior turrets, medical room, and this tab. I will also unlock everything in this bar. I'll unlock lights, searchlights. It will not, however, unlock this one until I make something from this section. So if I made a basic assembler, it would unlock all of these. But if I wanted to make a timer block, well, I need to create one item in this list first. So the easiest one to make would be a light. As well, down here I have to make the basic assembler to unlock the assembler. And same thing, your turrets are locked behind the assembler, as well as gravity generators and more advanced components and batteries. Although battery falls under just a basic assembler, and that opens up more materials and so forth. Interior wall unlocks more walls, and I can't think of the better word, but like habitat type things. You want to build your base, you want to have walls, you want to have doors. You'll need to first make interior wall to unlock this more shapes, like stairs, ramps, things like that. Windows, glass panels. Now the basic refinery unlocks ore detectors, the drills, which really come in handy if you want to make a spaceship or a planetary ship to help mine, which, yes, we want that. But to do that, we have to make a basic refinery. So what can we unlock right now? Well, we have the landing gear, which will unlock the wheels and the seat, as well as cockpits. And if we make a cockpit or a remote control, we'll unlock the thrusters, which you have ion thrusters, drills again. Ion thrusters are great in a low atmosphere environment, not real good at all on a planetary like Earth-like. You need, yeah, no, they aren't great for anywhere but out in space. The atmospheric thrusters are what are currently on the drop pod, and those work great for anything with an atmosphere. You also have flat atmospheric thrusters, large and small, a gyroscope, which really comes in handy, and I'll explain in a little bit, grinders and welders for more automated, O2H2 generator. I mean, I don't want to explain too much because I have this video being like 6 hours long and probably super boring. So, but yeah, limited items we can create as it sits without unlocking something for regression. There is a little trick to unlocking things. Like, just take for example, I don't want to disable that one. No, actually, yeah, I will. As I'd mentioned, the functional line. So if I were to grind this landing gear down below the functional line, like that, once it turns red, it's no longer functional. Now, if I were to take and build that back up, it says you have unlocked new blocks. Awesome! What did I unlock? Let's scroll down the landing gear. Now I have unlocked all of these. Great! I can make wheels, I can make cockpits. In this case, I actually want to make a remote control. And why, may you ask? Well, I could probably put a cockpit in this little plane. Okay, let me back up. Normally, I might want to just, set up a series of blocks, build my base, start making a power generation, start making a basic assembler, basic refinery, start working on building my base. Great, except I'm not fond of this area. Why? I don't have a good reason. I would like to be closer to a station. And that's just my personal preference. So to do that, instead of walking on foot for 37 kilometers, I want to take this drop pod. However, as it is, the drop pod is not pilotable because you can't... Nope. Yeah, I cannot... There's no toolbars I can configure to fly. In order to do that, I either need to build a cockpit inside of here or put a remote control. That's what I'm going to do. So in order to do that, let's go to the box menu. This remote control. Let's put that down on the hotbar. Okay, so we'll drag the remote control down here, and this will hopefully make sense. Hopefully. But to make the remote control, I need 15 computers, 1 motor, 10 construction components, and 10 interior plates. Those, I believe, are something I can make. So what I want to do is I want to build these so I could go to production. Let me show you. I can go. Come on, Joe. In order to place it, nope. 9. I cannot place it because I don't have any interior plates on me. It shows a red box, meaning I can't place it down anywhere. Okay, so I can go in and go to production. What did I need again? Yeah, I don't remember. Not good. So what I can do is go to the remote control and add it to a build planner. So clicking plus, I added it to a build planner. So now I know that I need 1 computer, 1 motor, 1 construction component, and 2 interior plates. Go back into the production. Nope, inventory. I could take and add components from a build planner to production queue. Let's do that. Where did it show that? I thought it showed the build planner somewhere down here. Apparently not. Okay, so I know I needed the computer, I know I needed the motor, interior plates, and construction component. I believe that's everything. There's an easier way to do this too. I'm just showing you how one can manually do it. 9. Okay, now it shows up with a green box that I can place it some places. Does it matter where I put it? I don't think so. So, however, it has an arrow on it pointing in a certain direction, meaning that that would be the front. Those 2 arrows pointing literally towards me would indicate the front. Well, how do I get those arrows to point the direction looking away from the seat? Here you can use, nope, that didn't work. For me, it's the insert, home, page up, page down, delete, and end key on my keyboard will allow you to rotate them up and down, left and right, and around. Okay, so now I have it pointing out. So let's build it. And there. The remote control is now complete. However, I cannot access it by pressing I. There's nothing there. I can't access it by pressing K and go to the control panel. There's nothing there. So how do I gain access to this? Well, I can be sitting in the seat to do it and go to I, or inventory, go to the control panel, go down to remote control. Okay, we've got the name, show on HUD. What do I want it to do? I want to be able to control the thrusters. If it had wheels, control the wheels. If it had a gyro, same thing. Handbrake, park. And so you can set up actions. But what I really want to do is control. So I'll click control. Well, now I am actually looking as if I'm controlling, or yeah, controlling the remote, or inside the remote control block as if I were in a cockpit sitting down. So here I will press G, which will open up the toolbar configuration as if I were sitting in a pilot seat. So here I can add to my toolbars. I could add all the individual landing gear, which would be kind of a waste. You can create groups, which is a better use of what I want to do here. Let me get back up again. So I go into control panel, unhide items, atmospheric thrusters. I could take and put them all under a group. That over here, block group name, and we'll call these thrusters, and save. Well, now I have a group up here saved as thrusters, and we'll do the same thing for landing gear. Left click and then hold shift, and I can go down. That'll highlight everything in between, but if there was something in between I wanted as well, then I would control click. So let's call this landing gear, and save. Anything else I need at this particular moment? Not really. Yeah, not for this particular example, I don't believe. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's go back into the group panel. Now it added another tab, groups. So I've got landing gear and I've got thrusters. Since I only have one battery, let's pull the battery down to the number 9, or you can, is it double click? Yeah, you can double click down, but it defaults to on and off. If you right click up here, let's remove this one, remove control bar, right click, you can go toggle on and off, toggle on or toggle off, show on HUD on and off. Same thing, recharge. If you had a base set up and you could recharge it, you would go to recharge on and off, discharge, enable auto. In this case, I'm going to go and toggle block on and off. So it puts that down in number 1. Well, if I don't want it in number 1, I can't just drag it over. So what you do then is drag it down to the bar and then select what you want to do. Alright, so I go to my groups. Thrusters will be in the next line over, so I want to toggle them on and off. And same thing with landing gear. In this case, we're going to go to lock, unlock. No, I don't want to always lock, or I don't want to always unlock. I want to switch lock. So they'll either be locked or unlocked, which in this case is kind of messed up because one of them's locked, the other 3 are not locked. Okay, one thing I wanted to double check, I think I may have not gotten right. Let me look at the thrusters. Okay, they are all off. That is good. And landing gears on. There's only one of them, I think, that is locked. Which one is it? There we go. This landing gear here is the only one that's locked. Shows up here on the right hand side, locked. Unlocked, unlocked, unlocked. Am I confident in what's going to happen? No. So if I hit 7 for unlock, oh, hey, cool. And now I'm moving the mouse around, but nothing's happening. So if I want to see, like, rotate my camera, hold Alt down. Now you can move your camera. Now all 4 landing gear appear like they have locked. Now, again, if I press 7 for unlock, I'll get a brief period of time as they're ready to lock, but then they will automatically lock again. You can disable the feature of them auto locking. I don't mind it. I'll leave it on for right now. However, I don't have any engines. My engines are powered off. So let's turn the thrusters on. Okay, still can't do anything. I can't take off. Spacebar would go up, and C will come down. Normally, if you have thrusters and every up, down, left, right. You can use WASD for forward, backwards, left, and right. Spacebar to go up, C to come down if you had a thruster coming down. Since we're in a planetary gravity, C will just momentarily shut off the thrusters so you can come down from gravity. Okay, so we'll unlock. And now we're actually flying a little bit. Uh-oh. All I can do is go up or down. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oh. Let's go up. Okay. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Oh, have mercy. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so let's turn the thrusters off. Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. Oops. Yeah, I broke a landing gear, it looks like. Yeah, that didn't work. Yep. So I pressed F to exit remote control mode, and I'm still in the seat. F to get out of the seat again, and yeah. Here's where you need... Oh, wow. This is why I'd mentioned gyroscope earlier. I think I did. Hopefully I did. But yeah, if I have the gyroscope out, I could actually adjust my tilt and yaw by pressing Q and E a little bit instead of just yeah. And you can turn, you can rotate left or right. Whereas if you don't have a gyroscope, all you have the option to do is go forward if you had a forward facing thruster, left, same thing, left, right, backwards if you have a thruster facing that direction. In this case, the only thrusters I have are pointing up. And so if I'm sitting at an angle, not absolutely straight up and down, well, then I'm going to actually drift the way I'm pointing, which is exactly what happened here. Yeah. Not great. Oops. Okay, we can figure this out. I would normally just, or you can go back and reload a previous save. In this case, I'm not going to do that. Why? Maybe I'm stubborn. Not 100% sure. Probably. I'm probably going to cause a lot more damage than what I'm doing. But what I want to do, and it might actually be, I don't know if it's going to work. I can probably do this. I can do this. Yeah, we can figure this out. All right. What I will end up doing is modifying the ship so that I have all the directions covered. Maybe. Maybe not. But what I want to do is I want to take this drop pod and move it closer to the station. And hopefully it'll make sense. Maybe not. Not sure. Let me ponder exactly what I'm going to do in this situation. And then, yeah, I'll meet you guys back. Anyway, if you happen to like the video, please smash the like button. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate that. I don't know the command, the emote commands to waves, so I I bid you guys a farewell and a wonderful day, morning, evening, wherever you're at. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.